Hi there, E.A. Tischler here with New Horizons Golf. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to have better focus or better attention or better awareness, how to be more present when you're playing your shots. Now, one of the things about playing great golf is that you have to have an intention. So you have to choose a shot selection, club selection. You have to decide that you're going to play a certain type of shot. Then you need to program that activity. How am I going to go about making an action that produces a shot, cause and effect? The action produces a shot. But you start with the intention of understanding the type of shot you want to play. And then you program the action that produces that shot. You have to see it in your mind's eye. You got to imagine the feel of it. You got to imagine that whole activity. It's got to be a complete activity. So now once you've done that and you've walked up to the ball and you're getting yourself settled in, certain things need to happen in order to play good golf. My inner game coaches used to talk about self 1 and self 2. You have to get your conscious mind out of it, and you got to let your subconscious mind do it. A lot of people talk about getting into the flow. How do we do it in a more reactive, more responsive manner instead of trying to think our way and control our way through it? Ultimately, the subconscious mind is a supercomputer, and it will actually create the right intention, send it to the right spot in the brain so that the body can react from the signal that it's sent from the brain. So ultimately the body's going to do what the signal tells it to do. But you got to get that signal to the body in a very free-flowing state, one where nothing gets in the way. Your conscious mind, your intellect cannot get in the way and disrupt that focus. So what we want to do is we want to find a way to get settled in where we actually can quiet the mind, and then we can actually use the imagery that we've programmed to be more reactive to. So one of the hardest things for people to do is quiet the mind. And so a lot of times what we do is talk about putting the mind on the bench, having a seat, sit on the couch, let the conscious mind be more of an observer. Once you've made those choices and that you've had that committed choice, you have that intention, the conscious mind is actually done. It really needs to just sit out and it needs to observe what's going on. You got to get it on the sideline somehow. So I don't really care what you tell yourself. Sit it on the couch, put it on the bench, get it on the sidelines, whatever you need to do so that you can quiet your mind. But you can kind of remind yourself, they've used what they call anchoring in sports psychology or cues in sports psychology to get you to the point where you can do that. So, one thing you can do is just sort of have that little reminder. You've already programmed what you want to do. When you get in there, you know your target, you got situated, you're just settling in a nice relaxed manner. One of the things you can do while you're getting into that settled position, just remind yourself, put it on the couch, put it on the bench. Get the consciousness out of there so that your subconscious mind can do the work. So if I settle in and I just remind myself, okay, my conscious mind has to quiet down. I got to get it on the sidelines. Once I got that experience of it quieting, then I can go ahead and react and I can play that shot. Now, it's sort of a subtle thing. Different people experience it different ways, and even from week to week you may feel it different. But I want to see if you can understand that experience of having that conscious mind on the sidelines, being an observer as you swing. And then during the swing, you're just present. You're just paying attention to what's going on, and you allow the subconscious mind to orchestrate everything, to send the signal to the right part of the brain, so that the brain can actually send the signal to the body so that you can react in a really free-flowing, what we call seamless, effortless state. So I really felt in the flow that time, and that shot went exactly where my finish was aimed. So what I use to get my subconscious mind on the sidelines is I have what I call a moment of pause. And like whenever I'm giving a presentation and I'm asked a question, maybe I get off track, I have to get myself back on track. So what I do is I actually go to center, I quiet my mind, I go to center. So really at that moment there's nothing going on consciously. And then I reconnect to the image of, say the outline for the presentation I'm doing, and then I know where I am, and then I can go forward from there. So in golf, I'm going to have a moment of pause as I'm settling in. At that point, I've actually put my conscious mind on the sidelines, on the bench, and from there, I'm actually going to go ahead, reconnect to that image, and it's not thinking about it, it's not trying to make it happen. I just go, remind myself, go with it, you know, in a very reactive state. And so that becomes the next key. Once you've got the conscious mind on the sidelines, on the bench, or on the couch, can you reconnect to the image and just react without thinking about how you're going to do it? And once again, very reactive, very flowing swing. And you might have noticed there, when I got settled in, during that settling, that's where the mind is quieting. That's where I'm finding my moment of pause. That's where I'm feeling like all consciousness is out of the activity. It's taking a rest right now. It's on the sidelines. It's going to be an observer. And what I'm doing now is going with the intention that I programmed earlier. There's actually a residual experience there. I can program it back behind the ball, and I have enough time. By the time I get all the way up here and I settle in, it's still there. There's still that residual programming. And all I have to do is react and go with it without, again, letting the conscious mind pop back into the activity and distract myself. So I do other breathing techniques. There's other things I do along the way to help me make sure that I'm sort of walking myself into the zone so I can perform in the zone. But if you can understand what your moment of pause is, and you can understand, you know, how to get yourself, you know, your conscious mind on the sidelines, on the bench, on the couch, whatever you want to call it, zoning out, some people say. You know, some people say their conscious mind takes a step back so that their subconscious, they can be more reactive. You know, some people say that they just quiet it down. It just goes to a lower level. So again, there's all different experiences there. You got to find out what that moment of pause is for you, so that you can reconnect to the programming in a reactive state, and you can feel what a truly seamless, free-flowing, effortless swing is. Alright, so once again, really free-flowing state. That ball actually went exactly where the swing previous went, even though I've had all this downtime in between. And that's one of the things about golf is, you know, we play a shot and we have 4 or 5 minutes in between shots, whatever it is. You know, we're having conversations, we're communicating, we're walking, we're thinking, we're doing all that stuff. At some point, we got to know how to flip the switch, get back into our routine, our focal process, whatever that activity you do to walk yourself back into the flow, into the zone. And you got to know that now it's your time to do that. When that's all done, you could assess what happened really quickly without analyzing. Just, you know, I got the job done or I failed to get it done. You know, just a very quick assessment. I tensed up. Wow, that one was really smooth. Whatever your assessment is. And then you move on. You get back to what you do in between shots, which is you enjoy the day, you enjoy your company, you have some conversation, you know, you're out to have some exercise, whatever it is. So enjoy the nature and the birds and the animals out on the golf course. So understand that golf is an ongoing process, but that ongoing process involves what happens, the purpose that we serve in between shots, as well as the execution, the goals that we have during our routine to play good golf shots. Okay, one more shot here. Yeah, so there again, a third shot. That one was right on top of the first two, you know. And I was, these are my first swings today. Only before I made this video, I made one other short video, so I basically was in my warm-up state. But you could see, if I could actually get myself into that relaxed, quiet, settled state where my conscious mind, you know, is on the bench, on the sidelines, on the couch, you know, and now I can just reconnect to the image, the choice, the intention that I already chose before I got up here. I can go ahead and play a free-flowing, you know, execution and play a great golf shot.